Yet another fearless move that has sent shockwaves through the corridors of Western and Eastern power. Niger's military leader, General Abdurrahmane Chiani, has ordered the immediate expulsion of Chinese corporations from the country. The companies, Soraz, CNPC and WAPCO, have been given exactly 48 hours, starting March 12, 2025, to cease operations and leave Niger's soil. This decision is not arbitrary. It is a necessary step in the fight to restore Niger's economic sovereignty. The government has accused these corporations of blatant disregard for the laws and interests of the Nigerian people. Despite Ordinance No. 2024-34, adopted on August 2, 2024, to ensure Niger's wealth benefits its own citizens, these companies have persistently refused to implement fair wages for local workers, sidelined Nigerian suppliers and contracts, ignored local industries, failed to invest in the training and promotion of Nigerian workers, and deliberately withheld technology transfers that could strengthen national industries. Enough is enough. This move sends a clear message to foreign investors. Niger's resources belong to Nigerians. Investment is welcome, but not at the cost of exploitation and neo-colonial theft. For those who have been paying attention, this is part of a larger revolution unfolding in West Africa. Since taking power, General Chiani has consistently exposed the deep-rooted economic betrayal that existed under the former regime of Mohamed Bazoum. Under Bazoum, Western corporations were granted unrestricted access to Niger's minerals for almost nothing in return. Consider this injustice. Western powers were extracting Niger's uranium at a humiliating 0.80 maz per kilogram while reselling it for $200 per kilogram in global markets. This was nothing less than daylight robbery. But the tide is turning. Just like Burkina Faso and Mali, Niger is taking decisive steps to put an end to the era of foreign exploitation and take full control of its natural wealth. The age of begging for crumbs while sitting on gold is over. What does this mean for the future of Niger and West Africa? How will these bold steps transform the region's economic landscape? Now, let's break it down. For centuries, Africa has been the treasure chest of the world, its soil brimming with gold, diamonds, uranium, cobalt and oil, riches that have fueled the industrial might and economic dominance of the West. Yet, the paradox of Africa's wealth is a bitter one. The continent that holds the keys to global prosperity remains shackled in poverty, its people denied the fruits of their own land. This is not a tale of misfortune, but a deliberate saga of exploitation, orchestrated by Western powers with the complicity or cowardice of African leaders who, for decades, have lacked the spine to say no. From the colonial era to the so-called post-colonial present, the West has mined Africa's resources with impunity, leaving behind crumbs while carting off fortunes. But the winds of change are blowing across the Sahel, where revolutionary leaders in Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger have risen to reclaim what is rightfully theirs, exposing the naked greed of Western exploitation and sounding a wake-up call to the rest of the continent. The latest salvo in this battle came on March 12, 2025, when Niger's military leader, General Abdurrahmane Chiani, ordered the immediate expulsion of Chinese corporations, Soraz, CNPC and WAPCO, giving them a mere 48 hours to pack up and leave. This bold move is not just a rejection of foreign domination, it is a beacon of hope, a rallying cry for African leaders to rise from their slumber and take back control. To understand the significance of this moment, we must first peel back the layers of history that have brought us here. The exploitation of Africa's minerals began with the scramble for the continent in the late 19th century, when European powers carved up our lands like a butcher's slab, drawing borders with no regard for our peoples or cultures. The Belgians plundered the Congo's rubber and ivory, the British seized Nigeria's oil and South Africa's gold, and the French laid claim to the uranium of Niger and the phosphates of Morocco. This was no partnership. It was theft sanctioned by gunpowder and legitimized by treaties signed under duress. The colonial era may have ended on paper, but its spirit lived on in the neo-colonial arrangements that followed. Sweetheart deals, lopsided contracts, and puppet governments propped up to ensure the uninterrupted flow of Africa's wealth into Western coffers. Take the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, for instance, a nation that produces over 60% of the world's cobalt, a mineral critical to the batteries powering electric vehicles and smartphones. Western corporations like Glencore and Tesla have raked in billions, while Congolese miners toil in hellish conditions for less than $1 a day. In Nigeria, Shell and ExxonMobil have extracted oil for decades, polluting the Niger Delta into an ecological wasteland, while the profits vanish into offshore accounts. In Niger itself, France's Orano, formerly Arriva, mined uranium for half a century, powering 1/3 of France's nuclear reactors. Yet Nigerians lived in darkness, with less than 20% of the population enjoying access to electricity. The numbers tell a damning story. Niger sold its uranium to France at 80 cents per kilogram, only for France to turn around and sell it on the global market for £200 per kilogram. €1 billion flowed into Niger's treasury annually, while France pocketed tens of billions. This is not trade, it is robbery by another name. And where were Africa's leaders in all this? Too often they were silent, or worse, complicit. Seduced by bribes, intimidated by threats, or simply too weak to challenge the status quo, they signed away their nation's futures in boardrooms from Paris to Washington. The West dangled crumbs, roads here, a school there, while extracting the marrow of our economies. The International Monetary Fund and World Bank played their part, imposing structural adjustment programs that forced African governments to privatize their resources, handing them over to Western multinationals under the guise of development. The result? A continent rich in everything but control, its leaders reduced to beggars at the gates of their own inheritance. But history is not static, and Africa's story is far from over.
There is a day Professor Pierre Lumumba from Kenya said that Africans, we are working with China because there is a wildcat. And we will deal with China after we have finished to deal with the wildcat that is eating our chicken. And the wildcat are the West, the France, America, Britain. These are the wildcats that are eating our chickens. Every day when we wake up, the stocks of our chicken has decreased. And they made Africans to believe that all is well, even if it's not. May we bless Regine from love and appreciate you. I welcome you again this new year as we are hoping for the great achievements. May God and Allah help us not to go to the hospitals, not to get sick, not to lack in our lives. And may be blessed wherever you are watching from. And stay tuned and welcome back. Now, I'm the Kenyan Explorer here, your presenter. Stay tuned. This is great news coming from Niger because first of all, I just want you to watch this clip and then I'll come to respond at the end of it.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to warn this body of the deteriorating conditions in the African country of Niger and to give rise to the concern of service members and contractors. More than 1,000 of them right now are functionally being held hostage in Niger. They are being used as pawns during a negotiation that has left America at the bended knee of third world criminals and thugs as our troops seek medicine and fresh water and troop rotations.
That was the clip of American people and how they were how the Nigerian government is dealing with their troops. Because they feel like they claim that they have been helping these countries for so much. They offer their medication, they offer their help, they build their countries. But the people from Niger and the government are not appreciating them. They are fighting them back. Now, let's leave that aside. China, we are today deciding to work with China, to partner with China as Africa. Because China has shown the interest of partnership, of trade, of business, but not of exploitation. But now, there is a day, I remember in Kenya, there was a news that was being spread out as how the people of Kenya are being treated badly, harshly with the Chinese employers. They are being paid a low salary. They are being treated badly. Some of them were even beaten. when they came when they report to their jobs at late time. Some of them were being mistreated just because they are working under the Chinese companies. And this, the Kenyan government came and responded over it, and the Kenyan people were furious about these incidents. But again, China entirely, we don't see their problems because they are not in the records of Africa's exploitation, colonization, and slavery. But they are the people who are only known in the history as the people who came to build Africa, who we are just helping each other. We are benefiting from one another. That's why we prefer going to China. But now, again, this does not mean that they have to take advantages on Africa, because the same thing that I saw being exposed or reported in Kenya is the same thing that is happening in some of the countries like in Niger. That's why the government of Niger has come out and tried to say, Niger is only known as the country which the largest producer of uranium in Africa. And again, it has been discovered a lot of oil in the country of Niger. And the Chinese company were the people who are given authority to come and drill this oil so that the country can benefit from it. But now they are not today drilling the oil to benefit the people of Niger, but they are exploiting it. Because once you are taking advantage of something that other people are having, and you need to benefit from it, because the people of Niger are working this oil company, the CFG company, which is the leading oil in Niger. The Chinese are being paid highly, but while the Africans or the Nigerians who are working in these companies are being paid poorly. They're being mistreated. And they complained, and these complaints reached the government and the president of this country. Now, the president responded. And now he has said and decided that he don't want any foreigner in his country. And what does he said? China out. China out. They are not cutting their ties or partnership, but they want to give them full authority to control the oil of this country. But Niger's government will be the one controlling, drilling out this oil, and maybe they do business with China, but not China drilling this oil to sell them out or to be in control of this oil, as how they have been always doing, because the people are complaining. We are having this oil site, but we don't benefit from it, but other people are benefiting from it. So how comes? While we are fighting for the imperialists, we are fighting for exploitation, we are fighting against the people who are coming to take our richness, our resources, to benefit themselves. So I don't think if I can go against the will or the decision of Niger president, because he know what he's doing. These are the people who started to show us the meaning of fighting the imperialists, the meaning of living independent, the freedom, the way of freedom. So whenever they come out with a decision, they already know about the impacts. Now, I think this is just a lesson to each and every African, mostly the African leaders. These people who are coming out, who are coming in African continent, they take advantage from all that we're having. They corrupt, they bribe our governments, they put them in their pockets, they put them there, they turn our leaders like puppets, so that they can they can benefit from the country that's having much than the people and the government is benefiting from it. So even if we don't have these companies, but we have the capability of installing these companies and these factories in our own country, so that we can be able to control our own resources. And this, we always speak about this. Once we will be able to control our resources, our minerals, our golds, our uranium, diamonds, these oils, then Africa will change even its image. And the world will respect the decision of Africa. Africa will be able to unite and make the negotiating team that will be there to represent Africa in global markets. And this is what we need African leaders to be thinking of. Because Pan-African is not only about speaking, But it's all about acting. When you see people like Patrice Lumumba, like Pierre Lumumba coming out to address these issues that is affecting Africa, I saw some people saying that Pierre Lumumba is just speaking. Why doesn't he act? His role is not to act, but is to inject, give the advices to leaders so that they can know their way, what to do. Because they know what to do, but they pretend like not knowing it. So I think this is the bold decision that Niger government has made, and we are here to support each and everything that these people are coming out with, because as I told you earlier, they're the people who have come out to show us what is governance, what is freedom, what is unity. Sahel region has tried to show us, in Sahel and IAS is there to stay, is there to transform, is there to bring a change in African continent. May you live long, the IAS and Sahel leaders. Be blessed, watching from live, and appreciate you. Let me have your views in the comment section kindly. Let's share and know what is supposed to be done here in Africa so that we can bring a change, a great change that we need to be in Africa.